How's it going, folks? All right, here comes the Lake of the Pines recap. I'm gonna give you the short version, and then for those of you that have an attention span that is more equivalent to that of a thumbnail tack, then you can watch the entire thing. But here, I'll give you the short version of the recap of Lake of the Pines for us. We got there literally the Friday, the last day of off limits. Actually, it was Thursday night. Friday, we drove around, looked at ramps, and we did an interview with Mr. Brian Vickery. If you're going down to that area, I highly recommend Brian Vickery Fishing. This dude knows bass. You want to get on bass fishing, and that is a big bass factory there at Lake of the Pines. Call this dude up, hit him up on socials at Brian Vickery Fishing. Absolutely check him out. That's the dude you want to get with if you want to go really truly see Lake of the Pines and have a dude put you on the juice out there. Brian will be the man to do that. So Friday, that's what I spent doing, kind of driving around looking at a few things. Saturday morning, we had our game plan. We launched, and for the first couple days of practice, I focused on the south end down by the dam. Wanted to see if something, what was going on down there. What I found down there was a lot of onesie-twosies. I really thought they'd be closer in the pre-spawn. I thought they'd kind of be grouped up on some staging areas. I was looking for channels that they would be coming in at, humps, ditches, things of this nature, and it just wasn't finding what I was expecting to find. I'd catch one and have to move to another, and I was really fishing on Saturday. I thought, you know what, it's a week out. I'm not going to worry about burning up spots, so I really want to just, put my head down and go grind. And all I was finding, I found a limit, but all I was finding was, like I said, like one, maybe two on a given spot, and then I had to move on. Speaking of spots, found several spots down there as well, down by Brushy Creek. And so, yeah, that's what we found for the first couple days, poking around down on the lower end. Did a little bit more research, talking to a couple other competitors there. And what I pieced together by the end of this thing was, man, and I'm going to spill maybe some of the beans on Lake of the Pines as far as kayaks are concerned. And this is my opinion, what I see in this place. This lake is a tale of two lakes. There's a small lake that's north of the bridge, that's more like the bayou areas up in there, and it's really conducive, good for kayaks. Not so great for boats. Boats can get up in there, but you really gotta, roll the dice on your lower end unit and some of those areas up there. Kayak, on the other hand, we can exploit a lot of those areas, and there's some big fish up in there. And to some degree, it might be easier to find them up there that way. But then there's the lower end, anything below the 155 bridge, which is the major, portions of the lake, 7/8 of the lake down there. And make no mistake, there's big fish down there. There's big fish all over this lake. This time of the year, though, it seemed like what the smart decision was to go north of the bridge. So that's what our game plan was by the time we got done looking. I literally drove to or launched from, because I had this entire week, I either went to or launched from every launch that we were capable of going to around the lake. That was public access. Figured, why the heck not? You know what I mean? So did that. Might have hurt myself by doing that. Got a lot of information. Anybody that knows me will tell you I am notorious for overthinking things, and I was worried about that going into this one, that if I had too much information, what it was going to do. But at any rate, my game plan was this. Launch, day one, we were going to launch from the 155 bridge at the marina. That's the lowest end down there, and I was going to work my way up a side that I didn't think many guys would go hit, because I really thought the majority of the stuff was going to be, guys that were up there were going to be coming from the north down. Lone Star and the 2315 landing, those up in there. So I thought I would work my way down and up, because what my call was on this was because of the storms that were going to be coming in. I thought that was going to wreak havoc to a degree on the stuff that was up north, with muddying it up, churning it all up with the heavy winds and everything that came through Thursday night, the night before the tournament, and the cold snap that was coming. Thought that might put a little lockjaw on them. And so I wanted to do that. The problem that I encountered upon getting there super early in the morning, our launch time was 6:30. I got to that ramp at like 5 a.m. I like getting to these ramps early so I can have time to take a look at stuff, get the kayak in the water, sit in the pickup, kind of go over maps, for the last time. But they were calling 10 to 15 with gusts 20 to 25. Dude, I'm telling you right now, when I was standing there, I didn't have a wind measuring device, but that was a sustained 20 mile an hour plus standing there. I mean, even in the darkness, I could look out across and I could see white caps rolling in. And I made the executive decision to, nope, not going to fight that, because my plan was including a 1.5 mile run up, right dead straight into that wind first thing in the morning. Dude, it was like 39 degrees, 40 degrees, 20 mile an hour winds. I was going to be getting soaked. Yeah, no, that was going to be miserable. And then hopefully I would have found a couple areas, there that I could, tuck away in and actually go to work. So opted out of that. So made a call there and put the straps back on the kayak. By 5:15 I was on the road down, and I went to Alley Creek, and I launched from there because I had found several little areas real close to the main lake entrance there in Alley that actually I thought should still produce even with the storms, and they did. They produced 4 fish. I had a couple come off. I don't know if they were of legal size or not. Caught several dinks in there. By dinks, I mean, remember, this was the first event that we require 14-inch minimum. And I know I had at least 3 or 4, probably 12 13ers in there. So those guys didn't count. And we only scratched up, like I said, we scratched up 4. They weren't bad. I had a 20 and a 20-inch, 20.25 kicker in there, so that helped. And I think by the end of day 1, we were sitting in like 16th is where we ended up out of 43 anglers there. So I didn't really mind kind of where we ended by that day. And I thought, you know what, if I really go sack them on day 2, we might actually have a shot at a check. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see, what happens. Especially if the other guys struggle. And so did the Alley Creek thing. Then that night I made the decision, you know what? Now I bet you, with the wind dying down and everything, I bet you now that run that I wanted to do at North will really pan out. Turned out that was a mistake because, I don't know, the universe just didn't like me that day. But bottom line is, I think what was really, number one, they did have lockjaw in the morning, at least in the areas we were in. Some guys further up were able to really jam on them well, especially guys like 104-inch stringer that Tyler put together, which, congrats, buddy, that was a hell of a stringer. But the area I went to, man, there was a lot of boat traffic up there. There were 313 teams in anglers, I guess. So that's 100 plus boats in one of their angler deals that was going on. Bottom line is, dude, there was a lot of bass boats out that day, and there was really no fishing a spot to yourself. You were going to have to get in line and share, and it started to become a game of what are they in front of me fishing with, so I can fish something opposite of that. And maybe, elicit some bites. If I see them power fishing it, I'll finesse up in there a little bit. If I see them throwing some jigs up in there, maybe I'll power fish in there, and just trying to, alter and work our way around. And finally, I guess about 8 o'clock or so, about an hour and a half into it, mashed another 20.25 inch beast. This time, though, this one was a hog. I mean, this thing, wait till you see the pictures that we post. That thing had like a half-pound fish, had a 12-inch fish in its gullet, and a third to half of that fish was sticking out in the gullet of the one we caught. It was just amazing. This thing was just gorging and trying to get its food on. I half wonder if the little guy went after my bait and this one hit that one and my bait at the same time, which is highly possible. Who knows? But any hoot, yeah, man. And then, of course, we, as I've posted in the past, we had the trolling motor issue go down. We did what we could. We tried to fish through it. I just basically got to the point where I did not want to tear up my gear, get myself in a bad situation, because with that wind doing what it was doing, it picked up throughout the day, and it got to the point where it was blowing pretty well. And with that amount of boat traffic, I really had to stay close to shore and stay away. And basically, I was trying to work my way towards the ramp at that point, so that we could do what we needed to do. But ultimately, made the decision when it was about, I don't know, it was probably 1 o'clock, 1:30, and I knew I had about a mile paddle fighting that wind ahead of me. So we paddled back, fought the wind, got her up on the trailer, got everything done. I guess it was probably about 2 o'clock, roughly, somewhere in there, that I got it back up on the trailer. And I just decided I was not going to put the second kayak in the water, the one that has the EPS motor. It just didn't make sense to do that for an hour left. So kind of like there's the disappointment piece, but also at the same time, I've been doing this long enough, man, and I'll tell you guys, dude, it's part of the game, and there's not much you can really do to contingency out for what I had happen with that trolling motor. It kind of is what it is. It's a rarity. I've never seen it happen to a trolling motor before, but it did happen. And, so we're just going to have to roll with the punches here and keep on moving, and then adjust course and do what we got to do. Bottom line is, I made it back to shore, made it safely back to shore with that wind and all the traffic. So I'm happy for that. And we got the interviews in. Got to work on the camera work a little bit there for the All American stuff. Make sure I get my camera stuff placed a little better for the going live aspect. But nevertheless, pretty happy with everything, the way it laid out. Always a blast to fish with the All American. And yeah, man, everybody made it safe. There were some big stringers. A lot of guys had fun, and hopefully we'll see more and more as each event goes on this year. So that's it for Lake of the Pines for me. We're going home, dude. Got to go through gear. Got to clean up the yaks. They are dirty. Been on the road for 3 weeks. Been all over the South, Texas, and everywhere else. So got to clean these things up, get them washed up. I'm not 100% sure we're going to do the New Mexico event. I need to look at a few things. This trip was pretty expensive for us, not going to lie. I got some windshield repair to do because the guys, trucks throwing rocks around. Trailer, we had tires go through on that. There's now with the trolling motor, got issues there. And a few other things. It's been an expensive trip, so we got to look at things pretty close here and make sure that we got a budget to handle the New Mexico deal at this stage of the game right now. Really want to go down and join those guys and help them get kicked off here and do some fishing with them. But at the same note, also have to be wise with our budget on where everything's at. So we'll take a look at that. Otherwise, the next event we would have will be Hartwell in South Carolina with Bassmaster. That one, my wife is coming with me, so we're going to turn it into a mini vacation as well. Really looking forward to that. Go out, do what I need to do during the day, and then in the evenings get a chance to go kind of scope around with the wife, check out the local area down there. It's beautiful down there. Hopefully the weather cooperates for us. Good springtime, no crazy storms, and things are decent. And yeah, so I'm excited for that, man. That'll be fun finally for she and I to get out and just relax and have a good time and go out and do some stuff and check out. So yeah, and then of course CKB will be opening that at Chatfield Reservoir, man. So a lot of diversity in the fisheries that we're looking at right in the very beginning here, man. It's kind of cool. I like this. It really stresses the brain quite a bit to figure out what you're throwing, what you're doing. So everything should check out there. That is the short version. Matter of fact, that's going to be the only version for this. Why not? We'll leave it at that. I highly encourage you, if you are interested in fishing at a higher level and fishing around at some very cool destinations, check out the All American Kayak Series. Please, definitely do. If you want to know a series that is run by solid people, that is, you're fishing against some fantastic caliber hooks, that these people, they're also just awesome, super friendly folks, willing to, you know, to make sure that everybody's okay, and help out around every corner, but also very willing, come game day and come day, the time that tournament is, they're very willing to take your money from you out there, which it's awesome to compete with that caliber and that type of character of other anglers out there, the men and women of the All American. It's awesome stuff. We're very grateful to be there and working with those guys. So follow along with the All American. Make sure to also smash the subscribe on the YouTube channel for the True Patriot Outfitters. Keep up to date on the podcast. We'll be doing a lot more interviews. That stuff will be coming down pretty soon. And trying to get more of the veteran and first responder community in the kayak field, and really focus more on that, and also our nonprofit work. We got some veteran outings coming up, first responder outings coming up, and of course we have lots of work coming down the pipe with the Romans Warrior Foundation with the walls. Some really cool events going to be going on this year with that. So stick with us. Stay tuned all there, and you'll be fully up to speed on all that. Make sure to share these videos wherever you can. Like, subscribe, smash, follow, all that good stuff. Huge shout out to my amazing group of small, mighty army of sponsors that we have. In no particular order, our New Canoe, for all the stuff. Without, guys, the bottom line is, without these amazing products, we couldn't do what we do. But more importantly, without the support from these people that are behind these companies, these are not massive organizations. These are small businesses that are run by solid people that want to make a big difference. And they've got behind me to help me on this mission so that we can deliver. With your help, we can deliver these services and do the work that we do out there. And to me, that's the main reason why you should give them an opportunity to earn your business. If they provide things that you would normally look at or normally purchase, give them a look, and know that you're dealing with truly honest and phenomenal folks that care about the type of work they do out there. New Canoe, Amped Outdoors with the lithium batteries, Vicious Fishing, not just fishing line, which absolutely love, not just, now they're getting into some hard baits and different things out there worth taking a look at. Yeah, absolutely. Amped Outdoors, the lithium batteries, phenomenal company. All-terrain tackle for bass jigs and jig heads. These guys have specialized in this from day one, and you cannot find bang for buck, better quality and more effective jigs out there, in my opinion. And of course, Blackfish, dude. You want to talk about coming in clutch. It was some 30 some odd degrees out there, and I was storm skinning it up. My storm skin, nice warm weathered rain suit took care of me out there. Rainy and cold day one. Day two was just mainly cold, and the wind and such, and that my Blackfish gear came through like basically just armor out there on the water in the kayak. So huge shout out to all of those guys that make this possible for us to stay on the water and to keep going throughout all of these events, and with our nonprofit work. Every one of those companies in some way, shape, or form is contributing this season to make it possible for us to do this work that we're doing out there with the nonprofit, and of course on the fishing side. So huge thank you to all of our awesome sponsors. We couldn't do any of this stuff without them. Hey guys, that'll do it. We're gonna wrap it up. Lake of the Pines in the books. Had a rough start to the season, but we'll bounce back. You know we will. We got no quit, and we'll come after him on this next event that's going to be coming up here. As always, y'all, tight lines. Be safe.